The first race of Montgomery Motorspeedway in 2015 definitely started off on a high note as Corey Rubel in the 18 battled Bill Bethea III in the number 13 for the lead on the first lap. Then we had the first caution come out when the number 21 machine of Riley Thornton ended up making contact with the 112 of Augie Grill, sending him around, bringing out the first caution. Then on the restart, Corey Rubel and Bill Bethea III made contact, which would end up with Brett Holmes getting into the back of Bill Bethea III, causing him to spin out. And after that, Bill Bethea III showed his displeasure with Corey Rubel, letting him know that he didn't forget what happened and he was never going to. Then on the restart, we saw Dennis Reno Jr. and Augie Grill out in front. Then things started to go bad for Corey Rubel in the 18 as he started to slow down and lose several positions. Definitely not the way that Corey Rubel wanted to go the first Twin 50. As we continued on for Green Flag Racing, we saw Dennis Reno Jr. and Augie Grill still the top two cars out in front. Dennis Reno and Augie Grill would battle out for continuous laps until Augie Grill finally made the pass for the lead. Then we had the next caution come out when the number 17 of Chuck Tuck and the 21 of Riley Thornton ended up colliding with each other, causing the next caution. We went back Green Flag Racing, and then from that point forward, it was all Augie Grill as he went on to take the checkered flag, winning the first Twin 50 of the night. But when we got to the second Twin 50, it proved to be a real show stealer. Off the start, Bill Bethea III had the lead with Luke Christian right behind him. Then the first caution came out when the 51 of Perry Bettino ended up spinning out. We went back Green Flag Racing, and the action was red hot. Then Perry Bettino spun out again in the number 51, causing the next caution. We then went back Green Flag Racing, and then Chase Oliver ended up having a problem. Another man that had the problem was the 112 of Augie Grill. He ended up having mechanical problems, and that opened the door for the number 18 of Corey Rubel to take the lead. But then coming down to the last few laps, Brett Holmes found himself battling Corey Rubel in a battle for the lead. Then on the very last lap, everybody would be standing up on their feet. Brett Holmes goes to the inside of Brandon Curran, and then they make contact. Corey Rubel goes to the inside to try to take advantage, but Brett Holmes holds him off for the victory.
Brett, I have to tell you, that was quite a race out there. What Augie Grill coming out early, that definitely opened up the doors for a lot of you guys, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely. He had us covered in the first race, and him kind of having a little mechanical problem with his car, that gave us a pretty big chance, there, and that moved us up to 5th, I think. But we had a great car after that first race. We made some adjustments. We were a little tight, and my crew chief Jim Barfield, he had it on point tonight. I mean, the car was really fast. We had a really good car.
Now tell me about that finish. That was one wild finish. You came across the lap car, and I was starting to think you might lose the lead right there at the end.
I thought it was too, honestly. It scared me pretty bad, but I mean, we kind of lost a little bit of our tires there at the end, and we pushed a little bit in the center, and he cut down a little bit, and we got hung together there, and the 18 backed off a little bit because he thought the guy was going to spin out in front of him. So, but luckily we got out of it and made the win. So that was our first asphalt win. So got those jitters out of the way and move on to the next one.
Anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, I want to thank my dad for everything he's done. I mean, without him, I wouldn't be here right now. And with all this racing and stuff, my crew, Jim Barfield, Brian Casey, Brent, Jeff, they worked their tails off on the car to make my job easy. My sponsors, Holmes 2 Excavation, Veterans Oil, and Welber Muscle Car Museum, they really help us out a lot.
Another race that was filled with drama was the first street stock race of 2015, as Joe Bethea Jr. led most of the laps and then got into a collision with the number 4 of Andrew Wiggins. We went back Green Flag Racing, and it would be between Dwayne Wessenberg and Chance Atkins. The two drivers battled it out for continuous laps. Dwayne led most of the laps until finally Chance Atkins got to the inside, took the lead, and he would eventually go on to win the first street stock race of 2015. Then it was time for the mini mods to show them what they were made of. Off the start, Chris Landers had the lead. Then the number 05 of Adam Gunter lost control of his car, hit the wall protection, and took the number 64 of Chris Frost along with him. We went back Green Flag Racing, and the real battle would be between the number 9 of Chris Landers and the 71 of Joe Collier. They battled for continuous laps, and then finally Joe Collier went to the inside of Chris Landers for the lead, but he went in too deep and he lost control of his car. We went back green flag racing and Chris Landers had the lead. Joe Collier was looking forward to making his way back to the top, passing the number 7 of Rusty Alverson for second. But at the end of the day, it would be Chris Landers taking home the checkered flag. Chris Landers wasn't done yet as he decided to do some burnouts to celebrate his victory in 2015. Then it was time for the late model open sportsman race as Jason Furrow led off the field for the first couple of laps. Larry Speakman in the 91 was doing well until he finally went up in flames, causing the first caution. We then went back green flag racing, and then the number 3 of Joe Hudson found himself on the inside of Jason Furrow, and he would go on to take the lead, and he held him off all the way to the end, winning the late model sportsman race. Then it was time for a minivan race, and these guys definitely gave these fans a sight to remember. As they went around the tires for the first turn, they ended up colliding with the wall protection, and Blake Wilson would be declared the winner at the end of the day. Truly an unforgettable night at Montgomery Motorspeedway.